Today we're diving into an in-depth review of the bag that I've been using almost on the daily the last 6 months since I bought it, and that is my Moynat Gabrielle Clutch bag. Now, I don't see many reviews of this particular handbag, least of all from the Moynat house itself, so this should hopefully be a very useful resource for those of you out there that have considered this bag or considered from Moynat. Now, I don't see many Moynat handbag reviews on YouTube, least of all of the Gabrielle Clutch. So hopefully, if this is a handbag that you've been considering for a while, this should be a useful resource, which is kind of odd given how vast YouTube is. But certainly Moynat isn't a brand that everybody has heard of. So if you are someone like me who is tired of the obvious luxury brands and want something a little bit more refined and understated that won't cost you an arm and a leg, then this bag may be the bag you've been looking for. Now, just like any of my other handbag review videos, I always go very in depth. I'll take you through the rich history of Moynat, the story behind the clutch itself. We'll cover everything from its specs, pricing, ways to wear, what it fits inside, to my personal experiences, where I'll also share some modeling shots throughout so you can see how it looks with me, all the way to the pros, cons, and then finally we will end with some wear and tear, and of course final thoughts on whether this bag is worth spending your hard-earned money on. Now, we have a lot to get through, so let's quickly start with the overview of Moynat, the brand. So Moynat, in case you weren't aware of it already, was founded in 1849 by Pauline Moynat, and it's one of Paris's oldest and most prestigious luxury houses. It has specialized actually initially in travel trunks and leather goods. At the time, Moynat competed with French luxury brands that you're much more familiar with, I'm sure, such as Louis Vuitton and Goyard, but they focused much more on craftsmanship and creating customized travel trunks rather than flaunting logos. With Moynat, the clients very much appreciated the understated nature of the items and had a lot of aristocrats and intellectuals as their customers. Not only that, Moynat was also a brand known for its innovation, and actually they were the ones that pioneered the use of canvas and leather in creating trunks back in the day, which was really popular for the brand because it was super practical both in its design and its durability of the trunks. That being said, their influence didn't actually translate into their brand status because over time they actually declined in popularity, especially in the 20th century. But in the 2010s, LVMH actually purchased Moynat, revived the brand, restored it to its former glory, and kept the focus on luxury craftsmanship with their exclusive designs. I guess that's manifested itself in the fact that Moynat doesn't really advertise, at least not in the way that we imagine luxury fashion houses to do so. They've never really embraced public advertising campaigns, and so it's very much a low-key favorite amongst those that are seeking quiet luxury or just, subtle elegance. So that actually means when it comes to their handbags, they're definitely more known for their design and craftsmanship than their logo, which actually makes them potentially more the epitome of luxury than any other luxury fashion house out there. And one of their main flagship handbags is actually the Gabrielle bag, and this is named after the French actress Gabrielle Regin, who was an iconic figure in the Parisian theatre world. And the design of the Gabrielle bag is inspired by the travel trunks that Moynat had historically created. The shape actually echoes the curved lines of the limousine trunk, which is a key design from the brand's early years. And the Gabrielle handbag was extremely popular. They came out with multiple variations, different sizes, different materials as well, and it was so popular that Moynat produced different versions of the bag, namely the Gabrielle Clutch. Now, the Gabrielle Clutch is a discreet update to the historic shape of the OG bag. It's a more compact and refined option, but it still retains the distinctive features that make the Gabrielle so iconic, such as the M-shaped turn lock clasp here that you see, and also a removable strap that provides so much versatility in how you wear the handbag. So let's just talk a little bit more then about the Gabrielle Clutch itself. The clutch is actually characterized by, again, the sleek and curved lines of the trunk, the limousine trunk. It's very compact, yet surprisingly practical actually for its size. So it's a perfect day to night bag, or it makes for a great travel companion if you're on an airplane, or if you just want a bag that kind of can do it all. It has so many different ways to wear. And one of the most distinctive features of this bag is the M clasp. You'll get this on most of Moynat's handbag, but it's basically a signature of their craftsmanship. It's not just a security mechanism, but it's super unique, and it's a really nice tactile experience opening and closing the bag. So of course you've got the M here for Moynat, and then when you turn it, you'll hear a click. You'll also get this M, this little valley of M's, and that's how you open it as well here. So let's do it again. It's all lined up. And now the bag is closed. That aside, it also of course comes with a removable strap, like I mentioned earlier, so you can wear it in so many different ways. Obviously, if I unravel it, you will see you can just clip it on with the little D-rings on the side of the handbag to give yourself a shoulder bag, a crossbody bag, or of course you can just wear it down like this when you're having it as like a top handle bag, or even, you know, obviously as a clutch you will remove it. But I love the fact that you have so many different ways to wear it. You can also, as you've probably noticed, adjust the length of the shoulder strap, which is something that you don't get in a lot of handbags. Outside of that, the bag is pretty simple. You can see it's just pure leather interiors, and you've just got one pocket here and just that open cavern. You don't have any other pockets on the outside of the bag. I'm sure a lot of people will wonder, Mel, is it a wallet on chain? It's not a wallet on chain, or at least it's not what Moynat calls it. But of course, in the name of the Gabrielle Clutch, it's a smaller form factor that you're getting, but actually I think it's pretty generous given that a clutch is something that you're probably taking for an evening or for an event. So those are the features of the bag. In terms of the variations that you can get of the Gabrielle Clutch, it comes in several different materials and colorways. Now the most popular is the smooth calfskin. You've then got what I have, which is actually the carrot calfskin, I believe. It's a little bit more rugged and thick. They also offer mixed materials, so a canvas plus leather version. And of course they do exotics as well, such as your crocodiles and your alligators. But of course prices will vary depending on the material. Now my Gabrielle Clutch is in the colorway known as Canal. It's a warm brown tone, and it even has contrast stitching, because brown is not very shouty or in your face. It's obviously a neutral, but the contrast stitching is something that adds a little bit of pop of something. And naturally, I'm sure a lot of you will wonder what the prices are. Obviously this will vary depending on the material, the composition of your handbag. For the basic version, which is something like my handbag, I think you're looking at around 3,500. Of course, prices change and update year on year, so do make sure to contact your local boutique. But just to give you guys a little bit of a benchmark from when I had purchased this handbag, which is around June 2024, they had an ultra black version, which is kind of like the Chanel So Black or the Dior So Black handbags. That was £3,510. There was a cognac color, which was made in smooth calfskin, which was £3,620. And then they also presented an exotic version, which I believe was an alligator, and that was priced at £17,400. Prices, I'm sure a lot of you will be wondering, where can I buy a Moynat handbag? Well, unlike many other luxury brands, Moynat doesn't actually offer online shopping through its website, or indeed third-party concessions anymore online. So you'll need to visit a Moynat store or one of their concessions, like at Harrods in London. They have all of the details on their website, so you can look up the directory of the place that's nearest to you. They don't have many stores around the world, so you will be probably having to travel if you want to buy in person, which is what I recommend, especially for a brand that, let's be honest, there's not that much information about them online. It's definitely preferable to look and feel the bags in person, but I appreciate that heading into London or even any other country isn't always an option. I do know that they can deliver to your home, so you can contact a sales associate via WhatsApp. When I wanted to buy this particular bag, I reached out through their website actually, from the Monar Harrods concession drop down, and someone actually contacted me the next morning, and their sales associates are super friendly, very helpful, sent me copious photos. I didn't even need to ask for them, compared to the likes of Chanel, who you very much have to court these days. But in comparison, Monar was very proactive. You know, whether you want to buy remotely or in store, they will be more than happy to help you out. Now let's move on to bag dimensions. So I'll actually measure the bag on camera. Got a little measuring tape. Now for ease, I will be measuring in centimeters, but I'll also put inches for my American viewers, my foreign viewers. Doing the width of this bag is going to be a little bit problematic, so I'll do 2 here for you because it's a trapeze shape. So along the bottom at its widest point, we have 26.5 centimeters. At the top at its narrowest point, we have 23 centimeters. Then let's do the height of the handbag. Given that we have a top handle, I'll do a measurement with it and one without. So width, I would say 17 centimeters. And with it pressed down, we have around 15.5 centimeters. And then let's do the depth. Again, quite difficult to do, but I'm just going to pick it at its widest point, and that is around 4 centimeters. And at its narrowest point here, it's approximately 2 centimeters. What I'll also do is measure the handbag strap for you, end to end, including the grips. It is almost exactly 1 meter long. Let's just measure it at its shortest as well and see just how far you can get it. 84 centimeters long. If you are more petite, I think it creates a lot of options for you to have such an adjustable strap length. And then finally, in terms of the dimensions, we are actually going to weigh the handbag. And the bag weighs 353 grams without the bag strap. With the bag strap included, I'm just going to roll it up inside, is 417 grams. So hopefully that proves useful to you, because I'm sure some of you out there, like me, own leather handbags that are super heavy. Case and point, the Chanel Classic Flap handbag. Now I've brought the small out with me because I think it's the most comparable size to the Monar. Obviously it's not a proper like for like, but I wanted to show you a point of comparison in case you can't get to a boutique, in case you're just morbidly curious on the fly of the size. So of course that's the side by side. This is obviously a lot thicker through this than the Monar because it's a handbag, but even for a clutch you're seeing you can get a lot inside that. And even in front of each other, you can see the Monar is slightly, ever so slightly taller and slightly wider as well. Now this handbag is fully leather, but it's got a double flap, which is incredibly heavy. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take out all of the belongings that I have, and I'm going to weigh this one. So I think we had around 340 something grams empty without the bag strap. It was around 400 for the actual handbag with the strap, around 417 if I'm not mistaken, yes. So then this handbag, the Chanel Classic Flap, is a lot heavier in the small. This is 607 grams. So got 200 more grams on your shoulder of this bag compared to the Monar. Obviously the depth is going to be a lot more on the Chanel than it is the Monar, but considering that they're both leather handbags, the Chanel is so much heavier compared to the Monar. The double flap functionality, it's a bit redundant to be honest. I'd much rather have it be a lighter bag with a smaller price tag too. And of course, with price tags being on the agenda for discussion, we all know the Chanel Classic Flap costs over double the Moynat. So the Classic Flap is around 7,000 in the small size, perhaps even more at this stage. Meanwhile, the Moynat is around 3,500. Yes, it's a bit leaner, but you get way more for your money and less pressure on your shoulder, it seems. So now that comparison has been made, let's do a quick what fits in the bag, because I'm sure you will all be wondering how it works in practice. So in front of me I have an assortment of belongings that I'm going to attempt to Tetris inside to show you how it fits, and then I will also weigh the bag again so that you have a little bit of a benchmark too. So let's start with the phone. I'm currently using my phone as a microphone, so the Pro Max cannot be used at the moment, but this is a comparable size. This is also an iPhone. That goes in there very comfortably. Then I have a card holder. I'm gonna pop that in the separated compartment behind. Then I have a small battery pack. I have got a wet wipe that I will pop into here. I have got a powder compact as well. We've got some earbuds now, some small ones that I will shove on the top here. Let's just test her out. Nope, we can get something else in, we can get some more stuff in. I have got a lip gloss here. I've got a breath spray that I want to see if I can fit on the top. I've got a little Louis Vuitton perfume spray. And then finally, what I'm gonna get in before I'll call it a day, got a little Ray Alarm. You know why we need that in today's world. So that just fits on the top. Quite a few items in there. Will it shut? It does indeed. And that is the bag completely full. And now if I'm to weigh the kitchen scales, so without the bag strap, it is 967 grams, which is crazy because I think without it was like 350 or something like that. And then with the bag strap on top, we have 1,033 grams, is basically an ant to fit over double its own body weight. You can add and subtract things as you like. What I did want to show you is if I take out some of those surface items, apart from the phone and the wallet, I can get a camera, this little vlogging camera, the DJI Osmo Pocket, in here very comfortably too. I can probably also add this battery pack too along the side, and we can close the bag up. Obviously this one you can see it's a bit thicker, but I just wanted to show you that you can get even bigger, weirdly shaped items in here. Now what I'll do is show you some cutaways of how the bag looks on me. For reference, I'm about 5'7" or 169 centimeters tall, and I'm around a UK size 6 to 8. So hopefully you'll see at the moment what it looks like when it's worn on my body frame as a shoulder bag, crossbody, or just simply as a top handle or clutch. The adjustable strap is also a godsend because it allows you to customize the fit for your preferred style, so it's super versatile. I love the fact that it's also removable. You can also put your own strap on if you wanted to, so it just creates so many options of the ways to wear. You can also clip on little cute charms on the side as well, which is awesome. So lots of ways to customize, which I absolutely love, and it just means that you get so much more out of your bag for your money. Now let's move on to the pros and cons portion of the video. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I've used this bag now pretty much daily for the last 6 months. So I think I have a pretty comprehensive view when it comes to the pros and the cons. Of course, let's start with the positive, let's start with the pros. And of course, the first pro had to be versatility because it just transitions so seamlessly from day to night, across seasons, across different occasions. My Canal colorway in particular is perfect for all year round use, which segues quite nicely into the second pro, and that is you have so many different color and material options, so there's bound to be something for you. There's so much variety from bold to muted tones, different materials, even two-tone bags as well. There's definitely something to suit your needs as well as your price points. And actually, with the price point in mind, The fact that this is an affordable luxury handbag from an exceptional luxury fashion house. The craftsmanship is on par, if not exceeds, that of top tier brands, and the price points as well are even more accessible. And speaking of accessible, I love the fact that you can buy Moynat without playing any stupid games. It's not elitist. You can very much walk in or message an essay online. The buying experience is very simple, very straightforward, and therefore super enjoyable. I also think a big pro is that their sales associates, just customer service in general, is very helpful. The turnaround time between sending an inquiry to their website to actually having somebody reach out to me was less than 24 hours. It's probably almost 12 hours. And I had so many photos sent to me of the bags I was after, so many messages to answer all the questions I had. Even when I went in store, they were all just as friendly. The training is impeccable, and you really do feel like a VIP even when you haven't bought anything. And most of all, they were just happy to see you. They were happy to hear from you, to show you more, and you really do feel like you are having a true luxury experience, which I can only wish for those of you out there, especially that are first-time buyers of luxury handbags. On to another pro. I love the fact that despite it being a luxury handbag from a prestigious fashion house, it's quite a low-key bag on the face of things. I like that it's not a loud logo. I think the M-twist lock is beautifully subtle, it's discreet, it makes it safer to carry in public, especially in densely populated cities like London, where big flashy logos will get recognized. I love the fact that this can fly under the radar, but I can still appreciate the craftsmanship without compromising on the safety of my belongings. I also love the fact that this bag is very hard wearing. The leather is incredibly scratch resistant and stain resistant. It's basically almost immaculate since the day I bought it. Here's also me scratching the bag without babying it at all. I've had zero color transfer on this handbag either, so it really is the perfect bag to travel with. And that's again another pro. It's very compact, so it's a great handbag to pack if you can only bring one bag on your holiday. This is something that I reach for a lot. Of course, with the pros, we have to talk about the cons. And while for me, some of these cons are negligible, for some of you out there, it might be important, so I did want to mention them. And these go in no particular order. So the first one that I want to mention is around the rigid structure. While this will be a pro for some people, because of its rigidity, you can't actually stretch it that much to accommodate extra items. So you've got to plan what you want to pack carefully. Obviously, you don't want to overstuff it because you don't want to see any cracking in the piping on the sides. Thankfully, I've not seen any happen. I don't want to deliberately overstuff a handbag, but of course, if cracking on the piping is something that you are scared of, then don't overstuff your bag, and also don't store it flat all the time, especially without stuffing inside. Next, let's talk about the feature that I love so much but can also be a little bit fiddly, and that is the turn lock. Sometimes aligning the M-shaped clasp can be quite tricky because you actually have to align the pins here with the two little holes here. There is no real room for error, so you can see I will press it down a couple of times, then it will catch. Not a big issue, but of course, if you are one-handed in the supermarket and you're trying to close your bag securely, sometimes I find that I need to pause, put something down, and have two hands, especially if your bag's a little bit full as well. The two pins can't meet the two little holes at the top that easily. And as a result of the potential misalignment of the pins, you'll get potentially some denting on the hardware. There is some light scratching as a result of me trying to fumble and find the pins. Now, of course, these came with stickers beforehand from Moynat, but I don't care too much about keeping stickers on. I use my bags, plus it would inevitably peel and things, and I just don't want the wear and tear to look weird. I'm sure if you're creative, you could probably buy some stickers or get some commissioned, but to me, it's not worth that expense. I use my bags. It's not looking too bad here. There's a lot of finger marks, but you can see some light scratching, I think. Not a big deal to me, but we will see over time how that looks. Another con that I want to mention is that it's quite difficult to purchase online. Of course, it's accessible in the sense that no one will gatekeep the item, but certainly they don't have much of a physical footprint around the world. So that means a lot of people will probably resort to having to buy remotely, which of course is risky for that amount of money. It's still significant to buy a bag blind, or you'd have to buy on the resale market, which again, I don't see many handbags of. And so in that way, while there are no games, location might end up being a barrier for you if you don't live near a store. And then the final con that I wanted to mention is that of resale value, because strangely, the fact that you can't find Moynat online doesn't equate to them having a high resale. From what I've seen, you're pretty much going to lose money on your handbag, at least £100 or dollar equivalent. Depends obviously on the condition of your bag, depends obviously on the type of model. For me, I think the Canal is quite popular, so I think I'd probably fetch at least what I paid for it. Obviously, things change in the market, things fluctuate, but I don't see that you're going to make money on your handbags. So it's definitely not going to be an investment handbag in the same way that you'd buy an Hermes, Birkin or Kelly or a Chanel Classic Flap. You want to make sure that you're going to use it and love it first and foremost. Buying it for profit should not be on your agenda at all. Now that the pros and cons are out of the way, let's just take you through a quick wear and tear tour of the bag. It's honestly pretty immaculate, and I'm not just saying that to be biased. I'm showing you in the different angles, the different lights, of course, and it's really just brand new like the day that I bought it. Certainly you're not seeing any of the wear and tear on the sides, even on the back where this is, rubbing potentially against jeans or against other coloured garments that I'm wearing. Yeah, pretty immaculate. You're not seeing any wear and tear really at all on the bag. That being said, the inside is a little less immaculate. The top is fine, but you're seeing a little bit of wear and tear inside, and that's just because of things rubbing up against it. I don't tend to baby my bags a great deal, especially ones that I know are going to be hard wearing. I've taken this handbag everywhere with me, and do you know what? It looks incredible for 6 months of almost daily use. The strap is also, again, as you can imagine, immaculate. I think it's just the hardware that will have seen a little bit of wear and tear. Yeah, you're gonna, of course, with the nature of hardware, it's scratching on things, so you're gonna get some wear and tear. And of course, on the actual M hardware itself, you're gonna get some scratches, which I don't think I showed you too much. A little bit of that too. But you're also obviously seeing a lot of my grubby paw prints. That's going to contribute, but something I do want to show you is that the M turn lock over time, actually, that I've just noticed, does have some two little small indents. You can't really see it in certain lights, so you have to move it around, but of course that is going to happen with the fact that this M is twirling around. It's not a huge gap, but over time, I will pay attention to how that wears, because that will be quite interesting to see. But at the moment, obviously, when it's fastened like that, you can't see it. So we're going to end with some final thoughts. After 6 months of pretty much daily use, I can confidently say the Moynat Gabrielle Clutch is a fantastic investment to make in a daily handbag. It's functional, it's versatile, it offers such a refined, luxurious alternative to handbags out there on the market from name brands, and it's paired also with an affordable price point, yet with such high-end craftsmanship that it honestly makes it a standout handbag in my collection. It's probably why I reach for it so often, especially when traveling. But that's just what I think of this handbag. What do you think of the Moynat Gabrielle Clutch? Did you even hear about the brand before today's video? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoy these review videos, let me know, I'll keep doing them. But anyways, that's enough of me talking. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one.